There are a million reasons why there should be a ceasefire in Gaza right now. There are obvious reasons. Civilians are being killed, 3,600 of them children, which is more than were killed in all world conflicts in 2022. But there are a number of reasons why there won't be a ceasefire. Not yet anyway. Because this time, this Gaza war, it's different. Reason number one. Historically, these wars have started when rocket fire from Gaza into Israel increases. Israel, understandably, wants to stop it. It then evolves into a bigger operation to ostensibly destroy Hamas and its infrastructure, which then becomes a war on the entire enclave, because the people are locked in there. They suffer, they are killed, and then when Israel decides it's achieved what it wanted, a ceasefire is agreed. I hate to be so clinical about it, but it's accurate. This time, though, it wasn't rocket fire. It was an extraordinary attack by Hamas which killed 1,400 Israelis, injured thousands more, and where hundreds of hostages were taken too. It was brutal, horrific, unjustifiable, something that was quickly called Israel's 9/11, and that alone suggests that the response would be more swift and more punishing.
Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th. Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen. The Bible says that there is a time for peace and a time for war. This is a time for war, a war for our common future.
So, whether Israel will say it or not, this is about revenge. And revenge is not easily sated. Reason number two. Because of what Hamas did, so heinous was its attack, Israel started its campaign with the moral high ground. Where previously it had sought to target Hamas infrastructure, now it had the opportunity to destroy the group entirely. Whatever Israel did, it could say, but look at what they did. And nearly a month later, that's still the justification. Despite the thousands of Palestinian civilians who've been killed, there are still Israeli hostages being held as well. And as long as that's the case, Israel won't stop. Reason number three. Israel is used to the support of the international community. It does get condemned for its actions, sure, but the big powerful players will generally support Israel when push comes to shove. This time, that support was magnified, again because of the horror of what happened.
And let there be no doubt, the United States has Israel's back. We will make sure the Jewish and democratic state of Israel can defend itself today, tomorrow, as we always have. It's as simple as that.
Well, then it's for me to say I'm proud to stand here with you in Israel's darkest hour. As your friend, we will stand with you in solidarity, we will stand with your people, and we also want you to win.
Thank you.
Then the war inevitably progressed, from Israel's right to defend itself to a sustained war operation on the whole of Gaza. And the predictable lines came out again. Israel needs to take care not to impact civilians. It should operate within international law. But it's nothing definitive. It's shifting, but no one's telling Israel to stop, because they know the risk of being ostracized and shamed for doing so. Like when the UN Secretary General said the Hamas attack did not happen in a vacuum. For that, Israel wanted him to resign.
Overnight, for the first time, President Biden calling for a humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war.
Mr. President,
After being interrupted by a protester demanding a ceasefire, the president responding, quote, "I think we need a pause."
So it may well reach a point where some major world powers say the attacks simply need to stop, but it will take a lot longer than in previous wars, and thousands more will die as a result. And reason number four. Israel's Prime Minister. He was unpopular before the war, and war is often a way for a leader to gain popularity by showing their strength and leadership. And you heard him before. He says this is a time for war. It's hard to see anyone convincing him otherwise.
But make no mistake, regardless of who stands with Israel, Israel will fight until this battle is won.
And for a battle to be won, someone has to lose. And right now, it's pretty clear who that will be.